Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. In a recent candid interview, Zhao Lusi opened up about her relationship in a way that surprised even her most devoted fans. With a gentle laugh and eyes filled with warmth, she revealed that Chen Zheyuan, long admired for his calm and gentle image, is actually deeply, almost overwhelmingly, devoted to her. What began as a simple reflection on daily habits quickly turned into an unexpected window into a love story that is intense, affectionate, and profoundly real. Zhao didn't describe grand gestures or lavish gifts, but rather the quiet, consistent ways Zheyuan shows up. Always attentive, always present. Her tone wasn't one of complaint, but of quiet wonder, as if even she is still learning to understand the depth of his affection. The revelation struck a chord with fans around the world, not just because of its sweetness, but because it spoke to a rare kind of love, one that is patient, watchful, and deeply sincere. What struck fans most about Zhao Lusi's quiet revelation wasn't just Chen Zheyuan's presence, it was his remarkable attentiveness, the kind that seems almost rare in today's fast-paced world. She didn't speak of expensive gifts or extravagant plans. Instead, she talked about how he knows her favorite food without asking, remembers the scent of her perfume on different days, and seems to carry an invisible map of her emotions and habits in his mind. He notices the little shifts in her tone, the subtle pauses in her texts, the unspoken tension behind her smiles. He pays attention, not out of obligation but out of love, so precise, so detailed it feels almost sacred. Lusi once jokingly said it felt like being followed by a private detective, but the emotion behind her words was far from discomfort. There was wonder in her voice, a quiet amazement that someone would care enough to memorize the rhythm of her life. From what time she likes to sit on the balcony to the exact coffee blend she prefers on tired mornings, Zheyuan seems to know it all, not for control, but so he can be present in the ways that truly matter. She reflected on how this level of intimacy once unsettled her. It felt too much, too close, almost like losing a part of herself. But slowly she realized it wasn't about losing anything. It was about being known truly and completely, in a way that most people only dream of. In Chen Zheyuan's love, there is no performance, just detail, intention, and a constant effort to understand her, not just as a celebrity or a partner, but as a woman, fully, vulnerably, and beautifully herself. There's something quietly powerful about the way Chen Zheyuan expresses his love, small, thoughtful gestures that speak louder than any grand performance ever could. Zhao Lusi shared one such moment that left a lasting impression on both her and her fans. One morning, after unintentionally missing one of his messages, she found Chen standing at her doorstep, holding a bowl of warm soup, a small bag of her favorite snacks, and eyes filled with concern. He hadn't called. He hadn't texted again. He simply showed up. To Lusi it was unexpected and overwhelming, yet deeply touching. That level of attention, that readiness to care for her at the slightest hint of silence, reflects a love that is unusually attuned. These moments are not rare. Lusi often finds herself at the receiving end of quiet, spontaneous acts of care. Food deliveries to her set when she's too busy to eat, a handwritten note slipped into her script, or a surprise visit just to wish her good luck before an important scene. It's not about control. It's not about drama. It's about a kind of attentiveness that feels both childlike and incredibly mature. A presence that reassures without demanding. Lusi admits that at first, these gestures felt excessive, even intrusive. But over time she began to see them differently. She realized they weren't about needing to be needed. They were about loving someone so sincerely that presence becomes instinct, not obligation. In a world where many people struggle to make time for love, Zheyuan chooses to show up. Quietly, tenderly, and wholeheartedly. And that, she says, is what makes her feel truly seen. There's something both tender and extraordinary about the way Chen Zheyuan preserves the essence of Zhao Lusi in his everyday life. She once shared, half amused and half touched, that he keeps thousands of her photos, snapshots of her smiling, frowning, laughing, even sleeping, stored meticulously in a folder titled simply, Lucy. These aren't the polished, public images fans scroll past online. They are quiet, candid moments captured without pretense. In his phone, tablet, even his work laptop, her face appears in every wallpaper like a constant reminder of what truly matters to him. But it doesn't stop there. Zheyuan once asked Lucy to send him voice notes every morning. Not for updates, but because hearing her voice, even just saying hello, gave him comfort and energy for the day. It wasn't a demand, but a ritual of connection. She laughed, saying it felt like being his personal radio host. And yet, behind the humor, there's something deeply moving in that kind of devotion. The quiet building of a personal archive. A private museum of her life, curated with care and love. This isn't about obsession in a troubling sense. It's about treasuring someone so much that even their smallest moments feel worth remembering. Through these little collections of sounds, of images, of fleeting memories, Zheyuan tells a story not with words but with intention. It's a story that says, "You matter to me, even when the world isn't watching." In a world so loud and fleeting, that kind of love feels almost revolutionary. And perhaps that's why Lucy, instead of feeling overwhelmed, feels deeply seen, deeply safe, and deeply loved. In a world where love often gets diluted into emojis and half-hearted replies, the way Chen Zheyuan stays emotionally connected to Zhao Lusi feels almost timeless. She shared, with a soft smile and a spark in her eyes, how he checks in on her constantly, not out of anxiety, but out of a sincere desire to be present in her life, even when they're miles apart. If she forgets to reply to his message within minutes, he doesn't wait in silence. Instead, he calls. Not to accuse, not to complain, but to ask gently, "Are you okay?" It's the kind of care that doesn't seek attention, just connection. Sometimes these moments come late at night, when the world is quiet and she's alone in her hotel room after filming. A call from Zheyuan becomes not just a conversation, but a comfort. Other times he sends voice notes in the middle of the day, short recordings of encouragement, a silly joke, or just the sound of him saying, "I'm proud of you." It's these small, unfiltered gestures that build something greater than romance. Emotional intimacy, quiet companionship, a rhythm of mutual care. Lucy admitted that at first, she didn't know how to respond. It was new to her, the idea of someone wanting to be part of her every high and low, every silent moment in between. But now she treasures it. The late-night calls, the check-ins, the voice notes, they aren't interruptions. They're a quiet reminder that she is never truly alone, even in the loneliest moments of her busy life. In those short messages and unspoken check-ins, Zheyuan tells her, "No matter where you are, I am with you." And that, more than any grand declaration, is what real love sounds like. Behind the polished glamour of the red carpet and the glow of studio lights, Zhao Lusi carries with her a quiet force, Chen Zheyuan, the man who has stood by her not in front of the cameras, but behind them, in the silence between scenes and in the shadows where true support often lives. Lucy once shared that before every major filming day, Zheyuan is the first to send a message, not rehearsed or grand but real. "You've got this. I believe in you." And when the applause fades after a successful premiere or award ceremony, he's still there, the first to say, "I'm proud of you." Not for what she achieved, but for who she is becoming. It's easy to love someone at their best, when they're winning, shining, smiling. But Lucy's eyes softened when she spoke of the moments when she wasn't. On the days when exhaustion crept in, when self-doubt clouded her usually bright energy, it was Zheyuan who listened without needing to fix, who stayed present without offering cliches. He doesn't try to be her savior. He simply stands with her, strong and unwavering. There were times when, without a word, he canceled his own commitments just to be nearby during long night shoots, quietly watching from a distance as she worked. Not to monitor, not to interfere, but just to be there, so she wouldn't feel alone under the heavy weight of the spotlight. In this world of fast fame and fleeting connections, what they share is rare. It's not just romance. It's partnership, rooted in mutual respect, grounded by consistency. And perhaps that is what every artist quietly longs for. Someone who sees them not just in the performance, but in the pauses between, where their truest self quietly breathes. There's a delicate line between control and devotion, and Chen Zheyuan walks it with an almost poetic grace. When Zhao Lusi first spoke about how deeply he involves himself in her daily life, some might have raised eyebrows, calling it too much, too intense. But the truth, as she gently explained, is far more nuanced. His presence isn't one that limits her. It's one that surrounds her with security, patience, and unwavering attention. Zheyuan doesn't demand updates or track her every move out of insecurity. Instead, he simply wants to know she's safe, content, and cared for. He remembers the scent of the perfume she wore on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. He notices when her favorite cafe changes the playlist she loves. He pays attention not to control her world, but to honor it, to understand the rhythms of her life so well that he becomes part of its calm rather than its chaos. There's a sacred kind of intimacy in being so known, and Lucy admits that it took time to understand that this wasn't possessiveness, it was presence. At first, she mistook his closeness as overwhelming, but slowly, she began to see the depth in his devotion. This wasn't a man who feared losing her. It was a man who cherished her enough to make space for every version of who she is. Her silences, her storms, her laughter, her quiet. And that is what sets their relationship apart. In a world where love is often measured by grand displays or filtered photos, theirs is built on attentiveness, on noticing the unnoticed. It's not about control. It's about care in its most patient, persistent, and personal form. Once the story went public, social media erupted. Comments flooded in. Chen Zheyuan's obsession isn't toxic. It's pure love. Zhao Lusi is the luckiest girl in the world. If this isn't what love looks like, I don't want it. Couples even began tagging each other in videos, calling out, "Where's my Zheyuan?" In the closing moments of her interview, Lucy gave a heartfelt message. Love doesn't have to be flashy, but when it's real, it shows up, quietly, consistently, and completely. I used to be scared of that intensity. Now, it's the safest place I know. Clinking glasses, ending note. A hope for the future. Though neither has confirmed plans for marriage, fans are secretly praying that this beautiful love story moves toward a wedding. And as Zhao Lusi continues to shine on screen, her real-life fairy tale unfolds, led by a man who believes that loving her fully is the most important role he'll ever play. Sparkles if this story warmed your heart even a little. Speech balloon, tell us in the comments. Would you want a love like this? Or is it too much? Bell, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss more celebrity love stories just like this. Television, thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Only on your channel name, where stories come to life.